We now move into one of my favorite parts of this chapter, which is graphing lines. None of this should be new to you, so you should very much recognize this equation right here. So what this here is called the slope-intercept form. This is called slope-intercept form because it gives you the slope and it gives you the y-intercept. So whatever number is in front of the x, we call that our slope. That's our move number. And whatever number does not have a letter attached to it, it's a constant by itself, that is my y-intercept. So this is called slope-intercept form. Very easy. So what we're going to start with in slope-intercept form is called the parent function. So what the parent function is sometimes I jokingly call it the mother function. So what this is we take y equals, and it's just y equals x. So the numbers that we have here is that this is 1x. I see 1x on this page. And there's nothing in the back, so I put plus 0. So to graph, what it says is we begin here on the y-axis. So what we're going to write is that my slope, m, is the number in front of the x. That's a 1. And my b is a 0. I'm going to write it as an ordered pair, 0, 0. So what I just did is I have something called an information box. I take this equation, I pull off the information, and I put it into my information box. Makes it so much easier to graph. So what we're going to do is we're going to begin at 0, 0. So that is the ordered pair, 0, 0, right here. So on the parent function, it has a y-intercept of 0. So when I move, what we talked about last week is that my slope has to be a fraction. It's rise or fall over run. So to make this 1 a fraction, I'm going to put it over 1, because 1 divided by 1 is just the number 1. So what this means is I'm going to rise, it's positive, so I go up 1, and then I go to the right 1. So from my ordered pair, I begin at the y-intercept. I go up 1, right 1. Again, up 1, right 1, up 1, right 1, up 1, right 1, up 1, right 1. We continue the pattern in the other way. Down 1, over 1, down 1, over 1, down 1, over 1, down 1, over 1, down 1, over 1. And then I can connect my dots and create this line. This line is the parent function. It means it has a y-intercept of 0. There was no number in the back, so 0 is where I would begin. There was 1x in this problem, so it's 1x. So I went up 1, over 1, up 1, over 1, because my m has to be a fraction. Very easy. So we're going to try the exact same thing with number 2. So step 1, we need to pull off this information and put it into my information box. I start with the slope. The slope is the number -2. Then I write my y-intercept. It says your y-intercept gets written as an ordered pair with the number in the y spot of the ordered pair. Remember, this is x and this is y. So the y-intercept, I put the number in the y spot of my ordered pair. So what I do is I graph. B stands for begin. I begin at the y-intercept of 3. So on the y-axis, 1, 2, here is 3. Put a dot there. M stands for move. It doesn't actually stand for move, but we say that M is the number that we need to move. So for us to move, it has to be a fraction. So I put it over 1 if it was originally a whole number. It's negative, so I'm going to drop 2, and then I always run to the right because this number on the bottom is always a positive number. So this is negative, so I go down 2 over 1. So from my begin point, I'm going to drop down 2, right 1, down 2, right 1, down 2, over 1, down 2, over 1, down 2, over 1. 2 over 1. Okay, it's a negative slope, so this graph is going down the hill. It's a negative graph. So we're going to try the exact same thing with the next two examples. Okay, again, begin by pulling your information off of your equation and into the information box. So first I start with my m, that's my slope. It's the number attached to the x, so it's 1 over 2. Notice I'm not putting an x here because the slope is a number. It's just the 1/2. B is the number in the back by itself here. So I write that as an ordered pair in the y-intercept. This is the y-intercept. So I put that -4 in the y spot of the ordered pair. B stands for begin, so I begin at the number -4. M stands for move, rise, because it's positive, and 2 is also positive, so we run to the right. So from my y-intercept, I go up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2. Same thing other direction, down 1 over 2. Hopefully you remember this from last year. You definitely talked about slope last year, and you guys also talked about your y-intercept. So we're tying everything together from what you've already learned. So in my last example here, it's in slope-intercept form. That means it was y equals mx plus b. So here I'm going to pull off my information and put it in my information box. So I'm going to start with the number negative. This is really a -1. So my slope is a -1. Negative x is the same as -1x. My y-intercept is a +2, so I put that in the back of my ordered pair. To graph my line, I begin at the number +2. I move has to be a fraction, so I'm going down 1 to the right 1. So from my ordered pair, down 1 over 1. Down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1. Same thing. Okay, so that is my line. It has a y-intercept of +2, and it has a slope of -1. So let's look at the next page, where we're going to do the exact same thing, except we have some words that we're going to answer here at the end. So flip over to the back and find this page for me. So what it says is when you graph slope-intercept form, it is very helpful to draw an information box before you begin. So in these examples, I gave you an information box that you can use. So we use this because we need to figure out what M is, and we need to figure out what B is. So again, this here is called the parent function. This is the very original lines, this original equation of a line. So what happens here is this x is really a 1x. There are 1x's on that page. That's a 1x. There's no number in the back, so I'm going to put +0. So what I have here is that my slope is 1, and my y-intercept is 0, 0. Begin at 0, 0. Move, it's going to go up 1, right 1. Up 1, over 1, up 1, over 1, up 1, over 1, up 1, over 1. Same thing other direction, 1 over 1, 1 over 1, 1 over 1. Then connect your dots. Okay, so the slope, I know my slope. My slope was right here. It was the m. My slope is a 1. My y-intercept, I know my y-intercept. Y-intercept was b. It was right here. That was the ordered pair, 0, 0. So now your x-intercept is where this line crossed the x-axis. So in this example, it crossed the x right here at 0, 0. X-intercept is where your line crosses the x-axis. axis. So let's try the same thing for number 2. Number 2, it says y equals 1/2 x minus 2. So my slope is 1/2. My y-intercept is minus 2, or negative 2. I'm ready to graph the line because I have a begin, I have a y-intercept, and I have a move, I have a slope. So I begin at the number negative 2. Then my slope up 1 over 2. It's positive. Rise 1 over 2. Rise 1 over 2. Same thing, other direction. 1 over 2. Connect your dots. Okay, we're ready to answer some questions about this line. What was the slope of this line? Oh, it was right here in front of the x. It was right here, my m. My slope is 1/2. What is the y-intercept of this line? I can find that information in 3 places. I can find it right here in the back of my equation. It was a negative 2. I can find it right here in my information box. I said it's the ordered pair, 0, negative 2. And on my graph, my y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis. All of them say the same thing. It's at 0, comma, negative 2. This said it was negative 2. This said it was negative 2. This said is negative 2. One way you can remember is that this constant by itself goes into the back of the ordered pair. Typically, it's in the back of the equation, and it's going to be in the back of your ordered pair. Your y-intercept is in the y spot of your ordered pair. Very easy. So now the only thing that we haven't said yet is the x-intercept. So now, very, very, very important. On the side of this graph, I want you to write your x-intercept is your 0. Very important word in Algebra 1, in Algebra 2, in Pre-Cal, for the rest of your life, is this word 0. What you need to know is that a 0 is where your graph crosses the x-axis. So my x-intercept is the same exact word as a 0. So in this question it says, where is the 0 of this graph? Oh, 0. 0 is my x. Here it is. My x is 4. Written as an x-intercept, it's 4, 0. It's called a 0 because there's a 0 in the back of my ordered pair. 0. It's like there's a 0 in the back of the word 0. So my x-intercept is 4. Sometimes it wants you to write it as an ordered pair. Sometimes it just wants you to write it as the number 4. Both answers are correct. As long as you put 4, you know that your 0 is at the number 4. So let's try one more together, and then I want you to try the rest of this page on your own. So we'll do number 3. Information box got a little bit smaller now, so I need to know that I need my M, and I need my B. So on number 3, it says, I need a slope. Here it is. Slope's attached to the x. That's the number. -3. I need a B. A B is the number by itself. It goes in the back of the ordered pair. B stands for begin. I begin on my y-axis at the number 3. M stands for move. Has to be a fraction, so I'm going to put it over 1. It's negative, so I'm going to drop down 3 and to the right 1. So for my ordered pair, 1, 2, 3 over 1. 1, 2, 3 over 1. Connect your dots. Easy. So easy. Slope. Here was your slope. It was right here. Slope is the number attached to the x. It's a -3. Y-intercept. Here's the y-intercept. It goes in the back of your ordered pair. That word 0, again, 0 is your x-intercept. Here's the x-axis. Here's where it touched the x-axis. My x-intercept is 1, 0. 0 is your x-intercept. So go ahead and try number 4, and then flip to the back. Use your information box to pull your slope, to pull your y-intercept, graph it, and write your key attributes of a linear function.